What do vinyl community? Welcome to the Fluffy Records YouTube channel. My name is Brian, that's Brian, and this is Fresh Off the Platter number 7. I can't believe I haven't done a Fresh Off the Platter in I think 2 months now. I have a stack of records here that I didn't know like what videos to do for them, so I was thinking maybe I should do like what's it called, a vinyl finds and then a fresh off the platter to end the year off, but it ended up being too much, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to speed run this and do this video to end off the year 2023. And yeah, hopefully you guys have been having wonderful holidays, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, all the festivities. And hopefully you guys go into the new year and accomplish the goals that you set. But without further ado, without yapping, no more yapping, let's get right into it. Might as well start off with some of the records that I bought in the middle of the year that I haven't shown. Christmas stuff. Wanted to do a Christmas video in the middle of, let's say, June, July, and ended up not doing it because I scrapped it, went out to a trip. Anyways, starting off with the 7-inch. This is Fat Bob, Season's Greetings. And by the way, I don't have many Christmas records to show, just a few. But anyways, this one, Fat Bob sings these Christmas tunes, featuring Dorothy Ashby on harp and Jimmy Clark on organ. This sounds killer. Can't remember when this one came out. This came out in the 60s, but this sounds great. People should look out after this one. Another one, I found this at the shop, again, around the same time I bought this record. This is the Ramsey Lewis Trio. What is it? From More Sounds of Christmas on Cadet. I think this originally came out on Argo. And the reason why I got this was because I should have shown this one first. I got this one from my other local shop here called High Fidelity. Shout outs to them. Around the same time. This is Sounds of Christmas by the Ramsey Lewis Trio. And this one is on Argo. This one sounds very Christmassy. This one sort of does too, but I like this one more because it feels more jazz. I like this one as well, but between these two, I think this is my preferred one. That's just my opinion. And then the last one, also on this Cadet Argo thing label, but Cadet, this is Kenny Barell, Have Yourself a Soulful Little Christmas. And got this one at the record parlor when they were doing the whatnot auctions, and got it for a good price. But the only issue is this: the jacket says stereo, and it's in mono, the disc, but it sounds alright. Like the tunes on there that Kenny Burrell plays. Anyways, moving forward, all of these are sort of scrambled, but I'm gonna start off with the 10 inches. Recently, a little bit, went to Amoeba. Hadn't been since I think the beginning of the year, and found some 10 inches. Starting off with Barney Kastle, Volume 2 on Contemporary. Super great sounding. Volume 1, now I have Volume 2. Now I'm missing Volume 3. I don't know if there was ever Volume 4, but I love Barney Kastle on Contemporary. Anytime there's any of the Barney Kastle on Contemporary, I pick them up. I know there's I think maybe one that Kraft reissued, but haven't gotten that yet. Next one, Lighthouse. This is the Lighthouse series, Contemporary series from Howard Ramsey group. So this is Howard Ramsey's Volume 4, his All-Stars on Contemporary. Well, yeah, the Lighthouse series on Contemporary. I think this one came out later on as a 12-inch. I do have Howard Ramsey's All-Stars. I can't remember which volume, maybe 3 or 6, something like that. 12-inch format. But yeah, this one's killer. Might as well show the lineup. Forgot to do that. Showing the lineup. Bob Cooper on oboe and English horn. Bud Shank on flute and alto flute. Claude Williamson on piano. Howard Ramsey on bass. Max Roach on drums. Killer session photos here. But yeah, I have been finding some contemporary 10 inches that I've been looking for, and like the Barney Kastle, I've been looking at for a while now. Obviously there's some online, but decided to just look for it locally. So yeah, I am super happy with that. And then last but not least, there's another contemporary 10-inch. This is Shelly Man Volume 4 or Volume 2 on Contemporary. Now this features Bob Cooper, Jimmy Giuffre, Bill Holman, Jack Montrose, Marty Paik, and Shorty Rogers. Between these contemporary 10 inches, I think this is my least favorite one. I don't know, to me this record feels like there's feels very marching bandish. They do play jazz, of course, but like the style feels more like marching band type thing. But yeah, let's see. So this does feature like a lot of brass and reeds, so I think that's probably the reason why between all the other contemporary records, I think this is like my least favorite. Still pretty good. Last but not least, another 10-inch, but this is in the Prestige label. Been wanting this for a while. I'm super glad that I found it at Amoeba. This is Jimmy Rainey plays some sweet stuff. Motion, Lee, Signal, Roundabout Midnight, and of course there's the label, the blue silver fireworks label, I think that's what it's referred to. But let's see, you have Jimmy Rainey on guitar, Sven Coulson, who was Stan Getz, on tenor sax, Hall Overton on piano, Red Mitchell on bass, and Frank Isola on drums. Yeah, this is one that I've been looking out for. There's also another Jimmy Rainey 10-inch, but this is the one that I've been looking out for because of these tunes. You can also find this in 12-inch format. Early Stan, Jimmy Rainey, and all the tunes that are on this 10-inch are found on here. So you want to save up, or you want to save some cash, get this one. You have all the additional stuff that are on the other 10-inch aside from this one. So yeah, I thought that was neat. So moving forward, let's see. This is an online buy. I haven't really done online purchases. Well, more so been doing them now, but like in the months of November, October, maybe September as well. Haven't done much. This one, fire. This is Cool Burnin' with Chet Baker Quintet on Prestige. I can't remember when this one came out, but the lineup here is Chet Baker on flugelhorn, George Coleman on tenor sax, Kirk Lightsey on piano, Herman Wright on bass, and Roy Brooks on drums. This is killer. I think this came out 1967. Chet had a sort of did this like Miles Davis thing with, you know, how Miles Davis did steaming, cooking, working, relaxing. But Chet Baker did cool burning, smoking, grooving, and coming on. Don't have the other ones, but I think this is a great one to start with in terms of his prestige titles. So yeah, that got it for a great deal on eBay. And yeah, I had completely forgotten that he did a few things on Prestige, but nevertheless, we move on. So these next few, might as well start off with the stuff that I got at the shop. Let me see here. Okay. Picked up a few things from the shop, I think around the same time if you've seen the 10-inch video, and I showed all the Bethlehem stuff. I also picked up some 12-inch titles. Starting off with this one right before I walked in. Shout outs to Corey, who was outside sorting the records that he was going to price. He recognized me, said what's up, and I started talking to him, and I was telling him what's happening with these records, and he was just pricing them, and he was telling me each bin, each crate was sorted in genre, and obviously looked in jazz and saw this, not priced. This is not the shop's price, but I guess based off this, $10. He gave me a deal for $10. This is Freddy Hubbard, The Black Angel, on Atlantic, white label promo. This one was a blind buy, and I gotta get more into the Freddy Hubbard on Atlantic, but this sounds killer. I think this is 1970, maybe 1969, 1970, and the lineup here is, the musicians on here rather, the way they play together is just superb. So yeah, Freddy Hubbard on trumpet, James Spaulding on alto sax and flute, Kenny Barron on piano and electric piano, Reggie Workman on bass, Louis Hayes on drums, Carlos Potato Valdez on congas and maracas. And man, this sounds excellent, and I gotta say, I just cannot believe I haven't been listening to Freddy Hubbard on Atlantic. Like, yeah, he did a lot for Blue Note, but I think his Atlantic stuff is up there with his Blue Note. I could be wrong, but this, can't sleep on this. If you see it out in the wild, pick it up. Man. I'm gonna put this here. Okay, next up. Had seen this every time I went to the shop. Decided to get it the day that I picked up these 12-inch records. This is Curtis Amy, Mustang on Verve. And everyone probably or at least people in the jazz community probably have known about Curtis Amy's Katanga on Pacific Jazz that Blue Note reissued in their Tone Poets. But there's also some stuff that he put out on Verve. And this is one of them. Now, what's interesting, well, before I get to the sort of interesting part, this was put out in 1967, I believe. Can't find a date, but anyways, this is what the back looks like. And yes, Curtis Amy plays soprano on here. Not just soprano, but also tenor. Let's see, Leroy Cooper, baritone sax. Let's see, Jimmy Owens on trumpet, flugelhorn. Carl Lynch on guitar. Kenny Barron on piano. Bruno Carr on drums. And Edgar Willis on bass, and Eva Harris on vocals. Yeah, the way they did this lineup thing sort of confused me the first time, but I'm getting the hang of it now. This is very like soulful, kind of bluesy, and of course there's vocals on here, so it's like also like feels very gospel sometimes, but interesting one. They play Mustang twice on each side, so I don't know if this is for everyone. Maybe it is, but anyways, the interesting part, or at least for me, when I checked the label, by the way, this is it, Verve. When I checked the label, I noticed that there was like a printing error. This is side 2, and it also says side A. So I don't really have many records, or at least I don't think I have any that have like label errors. So I thought this was pretty cool, Both sides are side A, and yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys have the same printing error, but I thought that was kind of cool in my eyes. But yeah, let me see here. Let me put this back in the sleeve and move forward because I still have a lot more. This back here as well. So this next one, Pablo Count Basie Jam 2. Came out 1977. Killer stuff. Got this for a really neat price. I think it was like $2. Already have volume 1, or Basie Jam, the first one. I think I prefer that one over the second one, in my opinion. But still, great one to pick up. If you haven't picked up any Pablos. Let's see here. This one. Decided to pick this one up. This is Fontessa, the Modern Jazz Quartet, on Atlantic. And found a pretty clean copy, I'd say. This has Milt Jackson on piano, or rather John Lewis on piano, Milt Jackson on vibra-harp, Percy Heath on bass, and Connie Kay on drums. Yeah, I think people know this because of it having like 2 recording engineers, Rudy Van Gelder and John Cross. And honestly, it sounds alright. It's on Atlantic. They play Woody and You, and every time I listen to that tune, I think of Jimmy Smith's Woody and You that he did with I think his big band. I don't think they ever put it out on vinyl, but I think that's my favorite rendition of Woody and You. But man, finally happy to have this. Got it for a good price. And I don't know if they're doing a reissue of this, but if they are, I'd probably pick it up because finding an early Atlantic or first press Atlantic can be kind of just, I'd say risky, but I don't know. Anyways, this one was not my favorite. This was a blind buy. This was Red Calendar Swing Sweet, and the reason why it doesn't sound good is because it's on Crown. But this was very cheap, and the condition was also very good. But it's just, I guess Crown was one of those labels that that just had terrible pressings of the records. But this has a lot of obviously it's a octet, so there's a ton of musicians on here. I think one of them's Buddy Collette, if I remember correctly. Yeah, as you can see right there. But Red Calendar, he was one of the members of the Wrecking Crew. I thought that was really cool. And he plays tuba on here, and as well as bass. I don't know if he did anything else, but yeah, I've been having this for a while. But maybe I just had bad luck finding with my pressing. I don't know. Anyways, my first ECM. Been holding off on ECM because I just didn't know where to start. I didn't know. I guess I sort of just what's the word? I didn't want to. I didn't know. Well, number one, I didn't know where to start, and number two, I thought I guess I underestimated the musicians that were on ECM. I don't know why I thought of that, but anyways, my first ECM, Gary Burton, Steve Swallow, Roy Haynes, Tiger Okoshi, and Gary Burton, I already said his name, Times Square. Decided to go with this one first. I don't know, I think just because it has Roy Haynes on it. But, yeah, this sounds freaking amazing. I really enjoyed listening to this one. 1978, and man, I don't think I've picked up any more ECM, but I think I'm happy to say that I'm going to start picking up more ECMs because there's just a ton of musicians on that label, and I really dig the music on here. It is absolutely killer. And I get to, discover more musicians from these types of labels. Another label that I'm trying to get, I've been wanting to get into is ESP. So 2024, more ECMs, more ESP, maybe more like new jazz titles. Not the subsidiary label of Prestige. I'm talking about like recent jazz records that come out. Last but not least, from the shop pickups, got this for a really good price, and when I saw it, I was just like, what? And for the price of it, I was just like, oh my god, I'm taking this. Well, first I played it at the shop just to see how the condition was. But this is Philly Joe Jones, Blues for Dracula, on Riverside. The lineup here: Nat Adderley on cornet, Julian Priester on trombone, Johnny Griffin on tenor sax, Tommy Flanagan on piano, Jimmy Garrison on bass, and Philly Joe Jones on drums. This is one that's been on my list for a while now. I don't know if the price has gone up uh, ever since, or it's always been kind of pricey. But this is Riverside, and you can see the condition. It's kind of rough, but it plays through. And on top of that, the guy working there, Ty, shout out to you, man, gave me half off of this, so I got it for even cheaper. Yeah, I think this was like the pickup of that day, even though I brought home some killer records that day. Let me put these over here. Okay. Oh wait. Okay, there's one more. But I should have ended off with the Philly Joe Jones, sorry. This is also killer. I already have another pressing of this, but I saw the shop had a UK press of this record and decided to pick it up for obviously a good price. This is Herby Hancock Headhunters. This is UK CBS. And yeah, I just saw it sitting there for the longest time, and it's in excellent condition. It's like, man, I don't know why people didn't want to pick this up. Even though I already have a copy, the Analog Productions 45 of Headhunters, and I compared them, and this one comes out on top. This one just sounds really, really, really good. I'd go with this one, and if it's still available at the Analog Productions Acoustic Sounds website, pick it up. Even though it's kind of pricey, but this is just up there with my favorite sounding AP reissues. Okay, let's see here. Let me do this online purchase that I've had for a long time now. Well, since November, I think. This is Miles Davis, Bitches Brew. First press, I think, 2i. Got this for a really, really, really good price. I think I only paid $30. And I had seen Angel City Books and Records have, I think, a second pressing of this. And it was like double that, as well as the shop. But yeah, double disc. Can't believe I'm so late in this Bitches Brew. It's like, you know, one of those that I think people should have in their collection, right? But just personal note on here is there are a lot of people on here, so pause the video if you want to look at the lineup. There it is. Okay, cool. When did this come out? 1970, right? Or 69? One of those years. But got this around the time everyone started talking about the Miles Davis Electric Ears box set that Vinyl Me Please put out. And I still don't know, because this is the only one that I have in terms of the stuff that's in that box set. So I could still either get the MoFi or maybe, if it's still available, the Vinyl Me Please. But happy with this one so far. Anyways, speaking of Angel City Books and Records, I got I got 3 records to show from here. I think I got these the same day that I picked up the Dick Wetmore Bethlehem title. Starting off with this one, Charles Lloyd, Forest Flower, Charles Lloyd at Monterey. Really, really good sounding. Even though this isn't a first press, this is, I think, a 70s reissue. As you can see right there. Man, I'm starting to get into Charles Lloyd. I know, late in the game, but just love his playing, love the people that he plays with. And of course, you have Charles Lloyd on tenor sax and flute, Keith Jarrett on piano, Cecil McBee on bass, and Jack DeJohnette on drums. Just a phenomenal lineup there already. And there's the gatefold. But yeah, I have seen Charles Lloyd, like other Charles Lloyd records out there, but I gotta stop hesitating and just, you know, even though they would be considered blind purchases for me, I'm sure they sound great. Moving on, Angel City has an upstairs with like cheaper records, and a lot of them are actually really clean. They have a crap ton of promos there, but anyways, they had a record that I didn't even know existed. This is on Mercury. This is John Lewis and Helen Merill. I don't know what the name of the... I guess it's just called Helen Merill / John Lewis on Mercury. But this is later in their life. What year is this? 1977. But you have John Lewis on piano, Richard Davis on bass, Hubert Laws and Connie Kay on... Well, okay, they have the lineup here. Helen Merill on vocal, John Lewis on piano, Richard Davis on bass, Hubert Laws on flute, and Connie Kay on drums. I really, really dig this record. This was another blind purchase for me, but it was priced at, I think, $4. Really good price for this. Can't remember how much they go for online, but I'm sure it's cheap. Cheap heat. Yeah. It's always great to hear Helen Merill sing. Vocals are just outstanding. Everyone probably knows about Helen Merill on Mercury or MRC. Who was it with Clifford Brown, right? But anyways, I didn't know that she stayed in Japan for like during the 60s, came back and just recorded with people like John Lewis. Outstanding. Okay, I think last but not least, from Angel City, I have a Blue Note title that I picked up. Released on Tone Poet. I think a lot of people actually enjoy this Tone Poet. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick it up as a Tone Poet, but this is Duke Pearson, The Right Touch, Stereo. And of course you have Freddy Hubbard, Stanley Turrentine, James Spaulding, Jerry Dodgion, Garnet Brown, Gene Taylor, and Grady Tate. But yeah, I was just really happy to have found this. Just any copy of Duke Pearson, or any record of Duke Pearson, I enjoy. But yeah, really happy to have found this one at Angel City. I think the mono version is pricier, but really clean stereo. And of course it has the Van Gelder on the dead wax. But yeah, that's that, let's see. I guess I would start with, actually, let me start with this. I can't believe I didn't take it out. Okay. The Record Parlor. This is one that I wanted to do a like Fluffy Records reissue pickups 2023. I didn't pick up that many reissues, to be honest. I only picked up the Chet Baker. And I think Acoustic Sound sent me the My Fair Lady on Contemporary, but I'm selling that because I already have 2 copies of OGs. Anyways, another reissue that I picked up was from the Record Parlor was Grant Green, Nigeria. Picked this one up, I think September. What's that one holiday? I think shoot, oh god. What's that one holiday in September? Either it's Labor Day or Veterans Day, I can't remember. Oh god. Sorry. But anyways, went there that day. Had a ton of mailers, media mail to give to them for credit. So I got this one for, I think, half of what it was priced at. I think this was like 30-ish. But this is one of the ones that I've been looking for. I remember seeing this copy at Amoeba in their wall for way more, but yeah, I mean, in terms of the sound, sounds alright. Grant Green on guitar, Sonny Clark on piano, Sam Jones on bass, and Art Blakey on drums. This was recorded 1962. But I think the first time it came out on vinyl or CD was 1980. There's the session photos. But yeah, I haven't been picking up, I would say, any reissues. I just keep going to the record stores and finding like really good stuff, and I don't know, I think that's been my setback for why I haven't been picking up any reissues. But I also learned that you should wait towards the end of the year because a lot of it comes out 2020 or that year. It goes to like half off. Anyways, happy to have this finally in my collection. Let me put this back here. Okay, gotta speed run through here. Still have a lot more. Online pickup on eBay for a really good price. Jackie McLean making the changes on New Jazz. This has a few cats on here. So Jackie McLean on alto sax, Curtis Fuller on trombone, Webster Young on trumpet, Gil Coggins on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, Louis Hayes on drums, Mal Waldron on piano, Arthur Phipps on bass, Art Taylor on drums. I think this one came out 1959, if I'm not mistaken. No, maybe I'm wrong. I think 1960. Actually, I don't know. This is what's throwing me off, and I'm sure this is wrong. I'm just realizing this. Yeah, I think they put Jackie was born in New York May 17th, 1952. I think that's what's been throwing me off. Yeah. No, that's a printing error on their part, but yeah, great eBay pickup. New Jazz. might as well show the excellent, and it has RBG on the dead wax. So yeah, very happy to have that. Okay, these next three come from the same seller on eBay. Starting off with the things I picked up on Muse. Someone's been selling like a ton of Muse promos. Pretty sure people in the jazz vinyl community have noticed that if you've been on eBay these past couple of weeks, months. But picked up this Cedar Walton. So this is Cedar Walton Trio, A Night at Boomers Volume 1, featuring Clifford Jordan. And this is white label promo. 1973. But yeah, you have Cedar Walton on piano, Cliff Jordan on tenor sax, Sam Jones on bass, Louis Hayes on drums. This is good. I really enjoy this one. The next one sounds more like a prestige record, but it's on Muse. This is Teddy Edwards' Feelin's, and came out a little later, 1975. But I didn't know Teddy Edwards was, took like a long break as leader. Took like either like a 9-year break or 7, something like that. Anyways, Teddy Edwards on tenor sax, Conte Condoli on trumpet, Doler Coker on piano, Ray Brown on bass, Frank Butler on drums, Jerry Steinholtz on congas, and Miss percussion. So another white label. You can find these records for cheap price. I mean, I got these for really, really cheap. Anyways, last but not least, not on Muse, Riverside pickup, but from the same seller. This is Art Blakey, Jazz Messengers at Birdland. Had been listening to this on repeat, I think last month, November. And I don't think there's been any vinyl reissues of this record. I could be wrong. But this is... when did this one come out? 1960, I think? 1963. Okay. Art Blakey on drums, Freddy Hubbard on trumpet, Curtis Fuller on trombone, Wayne Shorter on tenor sax, Cedar Walton on piano, Reggie Workman on bass, and Ugetsu. This is a beautiful, beautiful tune written by Cedar Walton. Unfortunately, the pressing sonically doesn't sound really good. Could be that, I mean, this isn't a terrible copy. Look at how pretty clean that is, right? But could be because it's a live recording. I don't know. I gotta listen to it again. It sounded very noisy, but still happy to have gotten this for a good price. So let's see. I guess I could continue with my record parlor pickups. Actually, before we get into the record parlor pickups, I'm gonna show one of 2 pickups that I got from my very first visit at Record Safari. This was, I think, a few days after, maybe the day after Black Friday. Found a really good deal on the record that I'm gonna show you guys last. But since this was my first visit at the Record Safari, I decided to look at the bins and see what they had, and found this for cheap. Ignore the price tag, because that's not what I paid. At least this price tag right here, $5. But since it was they had a sale. It was for, this is Count Basie. E equals MC squared. Count Basie Orchestra plus Neil Hefti arrangements. This is one of the albums that I listened to back in high school. This one originally came out on Roulette, if I remember correctly. But this reissue is another UK reissue. Been having some luck finding non-US pressings, I guess. But this sounds really, really good. I really enjoyed this one. It's on this Columbia label. I got it for a really good price, and I think that day I was sort of sick, so I got out of there pretty quick, unfortunately, because I wanted to stick around to look into the bins more. But yeah, I mean, this has a ton of musicians, but of course Count Basie, his orchestra, always really good. Basie, Duke Ellington, etc. But I gotta spin this one more because, well, reason why I haven't spun a lot of these more often is because of the fact of how many records that I purchased and have shown so far. Anyways, let's see. Okay, now the record parlor. Okay, so the record parlor pickups, I think I only got 3 records, right? Okay. Starting off with the contemporary. Andre Prevan Trio Jazz. King Size. Always love this cover. Yeah. Mono. First press, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, his trio. Andre Prevan on piano, Red Mitchell on bass, and Frankie Cap on drums. A lot of just beautiful tunes on here. Another one that I need to spin again, because I know the tunes on here that they play, but I can't remember. Oh, you know what? What I remember telling myself is that this is like a 50s record, maybe late 50s, but it sounds more, I don't know, like 60s, mid 60s. Like the direction, I don't know which direction Andre Prevan went to, but like it sounded like he was exploring here. I could be wrong. Anyways, Andre Prevan. People in the vinyl community have been talking about this musician, or at least this cat's record that I can't remember who reissued this. I'm sorry if I haven't been keeping up with reissues, but I know this got a reissue from somebody, from a label. This is Courtney Pine, Journey to the Urge Within. This is a US press from what I looked on Discogs. This sounds not only musically, but, well, not only sonically, but musically, this sounds amazing. Man, I'm glad I found this at the record parlor. This is on Antilles, New Directions. Yeah, Courtney Pine, I think he was only like 22, right? Yeah, 22. And man, I guess he's a multi-instrumentalist. He plays like tenor sax, I think bass clarinet, I think, and soprano, right? Wrong, right? Yeah, bass clarinet. Okay, so anyways, got this one, saw it in the bins, and I was like, wow. Anyways, the lineup here. There's a lot of people in here, so I'm not gonna name everyone. definitely pick up if you find it, if you see it in the bins. Man, just lost for words. Last one from the record parlor. I have noticed that I picked up a few Arista Freedom records, or at least reissues. This is one of them, Stanley Cowell, Brilliant Circles, with Bobby Hutcherson, Woody Shaw, Tyrone Washington, Reggie Workman, and Joe Chambers. I didn't know about this label. This was honestly a blind buy, but when I saw that lineup, I was like, holy smokes. So, this one, 1975, I think a lot of Arista Freedom pickups that I picked up came out the same year. But I think originally this one came out on Polydor. I think in Europe, I think either UK or Italy. But this sounds absolutely killer. So this is one of 3 that I picked up recently. Okay, so now moving forward to the Amoeba. And I guess I didn't show all the Christmas records because I did pick up one more. And that was at Amoeba. Okay, let me look for it. Here it is. This is one of the ones that's been on my list. Happy to have found it. I was just in shock and super happy when I picked this up. This is a Christmas gift for you from Phil's Records, Phil Spectre. And it has all these amazing vocalists, musicians, these groups. But of course, Phil Spectre is not a great person. So, anyways, got this one for a really good price. I honestly thought they were going to price this at 100 plus. No. I think this is an original, but either way, it's an early copy. I was contemplating to get. There's a reissue. I can't remember if Kevin Gray cut it, but people mentioned it and said that it sounds really good. I think better compared to the original one, but I think a few days later I had found this at Amoeba and I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, that was the last Christmas record now confirmed in this video. Okay, all these other ones are Amoeba pickups, and then I'm gonna get to my local shop High Fidelity's pickups, but let me speed run through these. This is a blind by Gary Bartz and Maisha. This is on Sessions Night Dreamer. Blind by, like I said. Been trying to get into more Gary Bartz, or rather trying to get into Gary Bartz because I don't know much about him, or at least don't know much about his stuff, but saw this one and yeah, just happy to have that. Next one, Heath Bros. I believe there was a Sam Records reissue of some Heath Bros record, but this is one that I picked up for $1 at Amoeba. In Motion, featuring Stanley Cowell plus the brass choir. Really good. I think this one came out in 1979, according to the thing here. Anyways, white label. My next Arista Freedom record, Charles Tolliver, and Music Inc. The Ringer. Didn't know this one existed. This one was also a reissue of one that came out, I think 1969, or I think this was recorded in 1969. But this has Charles Tolliver on trumpet, Stanley Cow on piano, Steve Novelsoul on bass, and Jimmy Hops on drums. Yeah, the original one I think goes for like around 100. And I don't think they're pretty easy to find in the States, but found this one at Amoeba for a pretty good price, and sounds really, really good. So, everyone talks about Chris Connor's Bethlehem work. Found one that she put out on Atlantic. This is Chris Connor Witchcraft. Yeah, Chris Connor put a lot of stuff. I don't know, I think maybe 6, 7, 8 records on Atlantic, I think. This is on that Bullseye mono, I think. Yeah, mono. And it sounds pretty good, but this is one that I didn't know existed. Truthfully, I have seen the other Chris Connor on Atlantic, the one with the blue, and I think it's her in the middle. But when I saw this one for a really good price, I said I'm gonna pick this up. A lot of these were honestly blind buys. This one was not. Has been on my want list for a long time. This is Terry Gibbs Quartet, That Swing Thing. This is on Verve. His quartet consists of Terry Gibbs on vibes, Pat Moran on piano, Jimmy Bond on bass, Gary Frommer on drums. Jimmy Bond was in a couple of Chet Baker albums on Pacific Jazz, and this is what the cover looks like. Let me check this out. Anyways, the quartet plays a nice rendition of Moanin', which is a Bobby Timmons tune. Really, really good. Also, let me show the next one, actually. Next one was a blind purchase, and this one sounds amazing. And I think this is cheap heat. This is Gil Evans, Svengali. This is on Atlantic. Not sure if it's first press, but there's a ton of musicians on here. There it is right there. Lineup. And same vibe, different albums in terms of the picture. I believe this one was done by Burt Goldblatt, and then I looked to see if Burt Goldblatt did this one as well. No, it's another person, but I don't know. These two always gave me the same vibe, the album cover at least. Okay, let me see here. Okay, this one was a blind buy, another blind buy, and I'm happy to bring this one home. This one sounds killer. This is Peter Chris Lieb, Wayne Marsh, or Warren Marsh Quintet. Apogee, I don't know what the name of the record's called. I don't know how to pronounce it. This is on Warner Bros, and another cheap heat. This one came out in 1978. Don't sleep on this record. Stream it find a way to listen to it. This sounds incredible. What I didn't know was that the Steely Dan group was the one that produced this record. Probably the reason why it sounds so good. And the musicians, Pete Chrislieb on tenor sax, Warren Marsh on tenor sax as well, Lou Levy on piano, Jim Hughart on bass, and Nick Caroli on drums. That one took me by surprise simply because of how good it sounds, as well as the musicianship between Warren Marsh and Pete Chrislieb. And honestly, I feel like I've seen this record before, but I don't know. I think I've just been getting more into like the later jazz era, like 70s, 80s. But yeah, this is one that I highly recommend. Another blind buy. Actually, these two are blind buys. This one tripped me out. I think this might be the first jazz record that tripped me out. This is Leroy Jenkins, the Jazz Composers Orchestra for Players Only. Didn't know how... Well, it's sort of pricey for like a early record, but I don't know. This is one that I saw at Amoeba, and I just saw the name Leroy Jenkins and also the name Anthony Braxton. I've heard of that name in the vinyl community for a while now, and thought, let me give this one a try. This is like, I don't know, like free jazz, avant-garde. Also noticed the name Dewey Redman. I have a record of his on Actual. I can't remember I don't know how to pronounce that, the name of that record, or the label rather. Anyways, this is a interesting label. Didn't know about this one. The tunes on here, well, it's only part 1. For players only part 1 and for players only part 2. Yeah, this is one that I enjoy, and even though it, kind of tripped me out the first time I heard this, just happy to find this one. Very, very neat. Not for everyone. This next one, another blind buy, but I saw Ron Carter did it. So this is Ron Carter Etudes, featuring Bill Evans, not the pianist Bill Evans, but the tenor saxophone player, Bill Evans, Art Farmer, Tony Williams, and this is on Elektra. So this is a 1982 done at Rudy Van Gelder's studio, Englewood Cliffs. I don't know if Rudy did this one. Did he do this one? I don't see his name on here, but this one sounds good. Wasn't expecting it to sound the way it does, but I've heard better Ron Carter records, but this one's alright, I guess. Another blind buy, by the way. The last two from Amoeba. Not a blind buy, but one that I was excited to find when I picked it up. This is Freddy Hubbard, First Light on CTI. Features Jack DeJohnette, Ron Carter, Richard Weans, George Benson, Airto, and Hubert Laws. Unfortunately, when I went to spin this one, it was slightly warped. And I've noticed a few of these are slightly warped. I do have a few slightly warped records. I'm trying to buy a what's it called, a record flattener. Not sure which one to get. So if you guys have any recommendations, I'll put them down. I highly appreciate it. Anyways, CTI, Van Gelder on the dead wax, and yeah, this is my second Freddy Hubbard on CTI. The first one that I got was Red Clay. This one sounds incredible, but unfortunately it is slightly warped, so I'm not gonna take this out until I fix it, or hope to fix it. Last but not least, one that I've been wanting. This is on impulse. I knew someday I was gonna find it at Amoeba, and the day came. This is Sonny Rollins' Alfie, with orchestra conducted by Oliver Nelson. 1965. Stereo. And yeah, super super clean. Sounds really really good. Sounds really hot. Another one done by Rudy Van Gelder. And yeah, I didn't know Kenny Burrell was on this one. I always um always said to myself that I wouldn't listen to this one until I found it on vinyl, and the day came and I finally looked at the lineup, and there's a lot of them, so I'm not gonna name them all for the purpose of this recording, the time of this recording. Anyways, there it is right there, and super clean. Cover, super clean, record, and just very very happy to have found this for a really good price. I don't know if there's ever gonna be a reissue of this. Maybe there's already one, but just was looking for either an original or a early press of this. Finally have it. Okay, the last few records. I've noticed that I hit the hour 10-minute mark. Let me start off with the ones that I picked up recently at High Fidelity, literally just last week. Another Arista Freedom. This is Frank Lowe, Fresh. This one is also 1975, and this sounds really really killer. I mean, this one, I'm a little skeptical about the lineup, or at least what the musicians play. I feel like they play more than what they mention here in the liner notes, but this is free jazz. This is another blind buy. When I saw this and I saw that it was on Arista Freedom, I was like, I realized that I picked up a few before, maybe like a week before, you know, at Amoeba and at the record parlor. So I was like, you know what, let me keep picking them up. So condition wise of the jacket, not clean, but the disc, really clean. Really happy. ESP, my very first ESP buy. Noticed that High Fidelity had this, and for a good price, and I was like, I'm gonna pick this up. And then here it is. This is Free Music 1 and 2. Sounds really good. But another one that's warped, and I think this one is even worse. The warp, you can see right there. I mean, this is, I need one of those I need one of those record flatteners like bad, because I do have a few good records that I want to flatten, or at least hope that they flatten. But this is a Dutch group that play, free jazz. I don't know if some would say avant-garde, but came out in actually not sure, 1968. From the cover, you can sort of tell like the lineup. In person, you can't really tell, but someone decided to leave and paste a review of this record, and quite an interesting read. But the lineup here is Boy Raymakers on trumpet, fluke horn, Peter van der Locht on soprano, alto saxes, Erwin Summer on vibes, violin, Ferdy Rickers on bass, Pierre Kerbois on drums, percussion. All also play various other unspecified instruments. I have no idea what else they play, but this one, not for everyone. And I was a little scared to play this one simply because of how warped it was, but I gave it a shot. But this is one of those that I don't think I would play until I have it flattened, or if I find another copy, because of how warped this one is. But the last pickup from High Fidelity, another blind buy. This is from an Icelandic group. This was in the jazz bins, but I don't know if this is sort of jazz, but this is more. Well, let me show you the album first. But this is Mezzo Forte on Steinar, and in the sticker that from High Fidelity, they said that this is an Icelandic group, and I saw that it was released in 1979. I'm not gonna mention the names. I don't know how to pronounce them, but that is the group. Let me actually show you guys right there. This is more of like fusion. I think they were heading towards like maybe jazz rock. I wouldn't say this is for if you're only listening to jazz music. So yeah, I don't know. I liked it, but I wouldn't say this is, jazz. Kind of hard to find. I didn't notice that until I saw the prices on Discogs, but I did notice that their other later records are cheaper to find. I think this might be their debut. I'm not sure, but glad to have this one, and can't wait to spend it more because I honestly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the music on here. So these next three are the eBay purchases. Let me start off with this one right here. This is the opener, Curtis Fuller, Blue Note, 1567 review copy. Someone's been selling their Blue Note review copies for a really good price, so I jumped on it. Let's see. Curtis Fuller on trombone, Hank Mobley on tenor sax, Bobby Timmons on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, Art Taylor on drums. In terms of the music, I enjoy, but the sonically, the only thing that I had that I thought was like off was the drums on here. They sound very compressed. I don't know. It could be just because I have a like a review copy, test pressing, whatever, or it was just like that, and because it's an early recording. But I don't know. I'm sure like an OG would sound better, like in terms of the drums. But still happy to have this. I've been wanting this record for a long time. And maybe it's gonna come out in the classic vinyl series. I'm not sure. Anyways, next up is this one. Little Johnny C, Johnny Coles. This one sounds really good. Another 45 test pressing. And lineup here is killer. Johnny Coles on trumpet, Leo Wright on alto sax and flute, Joe Henderson on tenor sax, Duke Pearson on piano, Bob Crenshaw on bass, Walter Perkins, and Pete LaRocca on drums. So, spun this one a few days ago, and it is killer. This is one of the ones that I wouldn't mind getting a an OG. I don't think in terms of like Curtis Fuller, I don't think I'll be able to afford, an OG. His stuff on Blue Note is expensive, but Johnny Coles, his stuff is I think I could find a way to get his or at least this record. But really enjoy this one. And the last 45 Music Matters is actually the first one that I purchased out of the three. This is Larry Young, Unity. Just super iconic in the jazz world, I guess. Another test press, 45 Music Matters. And this is one that I've been wanting. I've been wanting Larry Young on Blue Note for quite a while now. And there he is with the rest of the cats. You have Larry Young on organ, Woody Shaw on trumpet, Joe Henderson on tenor sax, and Elvin Jones on drums. Originally released 1966. So this is phenomenal. I think you can find his or at least this 45, like Music Matters 45 for under 100 maybe. And then his 33 is also like maybe around the $100 range. But if you don't want to spend, a crap load of money on this, Blue Note, the classic series has this as, their 33, but I've been wanting a 45 or at least the Music Matters of this, so very happy to have it finally. Okay, and at the hour 20 mark, and this is the last one that I want to show that I got at Record Safari. I missed out on this record box set that came out, I think, 2 years ago. And out of the blue, I just was looking through like some records that I was just thinking about. And Record Safari had this on their Discogs. I think this was priced retail for what Blue Note was had it sold for. And I just pressed buy now, and I picked it up. I selected pick up the record at the shop over there at Record Safari, and so that's why I went to the Record Safari to pick up this record. or at least this box set. Ladies and gentlemen, this is probably the box set that I picked up this year, the only one that I think I picked up. This is Lee Morgan, Live at the Lighthouse, the complete Live at the Lighthouse Hermosa Beach box set that Blue Note put out, 2021, I think. When it comes to box sets, I are looking for box sets this year. I think this is one that I didn't think that I would pick up. There's a lot of good ones that came out this year, from the Dorothy Ashby box set to the Cadet. I don't know if the Cadet came out this year, but the Miles Davis Electric Ears, Pharoah Sanders, that one wasn't that expensive. But anyways, this is limited edition, first pressing of 2000. I got 1188. Yeah. This was already opened, but the description said that it was not played, it was just opened. And I looked through, and every disc was in there. The booklet is in there. Anyways, this is one that took me a little bit to spin. Finally spun it. Decided to, once I finished spinning this, I would finally record the video. And so, yeah, very, 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 very happy to have this. The musicians on here, well, I think I already mentioned, this was like a session. Lee Morgan had was in the West Coast, and played at the Lighthouse for a while. I think a while, I'm meaning like maybe a month. But I think Blue Note decided to record him, and yeah, 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the musicians on here playing with Lee Morgan, Benny Maupin on tenor sax, flute and bass clarinet, Harold Mayburn on piano, Jimmy Merritt on Ampeg bass, Mickey Roker on drums, and of course Lee Morgan on trumpet and flugelhorn. But there was a night, I think this was the first night, where Jack DeJohnette comes in. He sat in, I think he was visiting like maybe family or somebody, and decided to sit in during the session, and played on one tune, Speedball. So thought that was very, very, very awesome. But yeah, this is it. This is the last thing that I wanted to show for this video, for my Fresh Off the Platter to end off the year. But I finally showed everything. I feel a lot relieved, actually, and yeah, very, very happy you stuck around this far. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Comment down below what you guys thought, and I hope that my 2024 first video is soon, once 2024 hits. But hope you guys have a wonderful New Year, and hope you guys got all the records you guys wanted in for this year. Hope you guys had awesome pickups. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you guys next year for another vinyl journey. So thanks so much, and take care.